He's offering him the wealth of a king and the position of a son. And what is Mephibosheth's response to this great gift? Mephibosheth says to David, "Who am I that you would notice a dead dog as I am?" What a response. He's being offered the wealth of a king and the position of a prince. And he asked David, why would you even consider a dead dog like me? Now, it's one thing to call yourself a dog. During this time in history, dogs were not pets. They were not like we have dogs today for hunting or for loving, and dogs are great. I love dogs. I've had a German Shepherd. I've had all kind of dogs. I tell folk all the time, dog is God spelled backwards. Unconditional love. You got a dog, I don't care what he's been through. I don't care if his tail is gone, got one eye and three legs. You call him lucky. He still will lick you when he sees you. Dogs are special. Cats are sometimey. You know, cats are like, meow, meow, you know. Okay, I'll let you rub me today, you know. But dogs, when they see you, it's like they see you for the first time every time. But during this time in history, dogs were not liked. Dogs were looked at as big rats. They lived in the streets. They were mangy and filthy. They were in packs, and they were so desperate they would actually lick the sores on beggars. Remember the story about Lazarus? And it says, and the dogs came and licked his sores for nourishment. So if you said to somebody back in this time, I'm a dog, you are saying I'm a mangy, dirty, filthy, wandering, lost, homeless, no good scoundrel that has disease. That's what a dog meant back then. But he don't just say that he's a dog. He says, I am a. So I'm all of that stuff I just said, plus I have no life, I have no purpose, I have no value, I have no direction, I have nothing of value. He's saying to David, I can't offer you anything. What would make a man call himself a dead dog? What has a man had to go through in life that he describes himself as a mangy varmint? See, that's why I don't judge people. Because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know their story. You don't know what they've gone through. You haven't walked in their shoes yet. And I tell folk all the time, you better pray and have some mercy, because trouble is either right with you now, just leaving, or on its way. You better show some mercy. You better show some kindness, because what is bothering your neighbor today will knock on your child's door tomorrow. What did this man go through? Now, let me give you a quick clinical diagnostic assessment of his reticular activating system to determine why a man would call himself a dead dog. It's even more profound, brothers and sisters, because if you know who Mephibosheth is, it makes no sense. This is called a didactic cognitive dissonance wrapped up in hyperbole. If you understand who Mephibosheth was, he just wasn't some homeless street urchin. Mephibosheth is royalty. He's royalty. Through his veins flow the blood of Prince Jonathan and King Saul. He is the son of the crown prince of Israel, and he is the grandson of the first king of God's chosen people. Which means When he woke up in the morning, he woke up to harp music being played by servants. That means before he left his bed, they would put rose petals down so his divine feet would not hit dirt. That means he had tutors and he had bathers and food testers. He had people teach him how to fight with a sword, and he had tutors, and all of this wrapped up. This man was born into opulence, into wealth, into a sense of somebodiness. He was taught to how to walk like a prince, and how to stand like a prince, and how to feel like a prince, and how to give commands, and how to stand a certain way, and how to look presidential, and how to command servants to come, and how to be able to lead with magnetism and dynamism and force and will and veracity and tenacity and resilience and persistence, and to be somebody of regal importance. He was trained to be king someday. And yet, with all of that beginning, he tells David, why would you even think about a dead dog? How many people that you know with great potential, great gifting and talent and skill, a word has been spoken over them. They've been prophesied over. Hands laid on them. Grandma gave a prophecy. The preacher from Alabama said something about them. And yet they still live like they're a dead dog. Their self-esteem is destroyed. Their self-worth is nothing. They always think of themselves as worthless. You ask them to serve, they always have a reason why they can't. Well, you know, it's because I used to drink Jack and Daniels, and I ran around with this one and that one, and you know, my feet are pigeon-toed, my feet are flat-foot, and I got buck teeth, and I got knocked knees. I can't serve. Or every time they get something good, they find a way to destroy it. They get a nice woman and mess it all up. They get a nice job, mess it all up. They get something and they find a way, because deep inside they say, this is too good for me. This is too good for me. Mama said I be nothing. Daddy said I was an idiot. Grandma said I was stupid. The teacher said I was dumb. My ex-husband said I'll be nothing. So they keep repeating to themselves all these lies they've heard from the enemy, all these things they've heard, and they're trapped in their own words, and they can't be set free because they tell themselves, I am dirt, I am nothing, I can do nothing. So whatever you think about, so you become. It is not what somebody says about you, it's what you say that they say about you. If somebody calls you stupid, it does not affect you until you say, you know what, they're right. I'm stupid. Now, boom, it takes hold. Every time you say, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not. Every time you say, I'll never have anything, I can't make no money, nobody will hire me, I can't keep a job. Every time you say that, it becomes your reality. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. That's what the word says, think on these things, things that are noble, things that are true, things that are pure, things that are, think on these things. Now we call this, in the work that I do, self-destructive behavior. You take one step forward and 5 back. Every time you get close to your vision, you burn it up. Every time you get close to the promised land, you turn away. Every time you're about to cross over, you find an excuse not to do it. You get a lump of money, you say, I got to spend it, I got to spend it, I got to spend it because I'm supposed to be poor. We call this arrested development and learned helplessness. One of the greatest dual diseases that destroys people of God, because they're believing the lies of others instead of the promises of God. They focus on what somebody else said about them, and that becomes their truth, that becomes their reality, and they never escape. If all you focus on is generational curses, that's all you're going to have. Even though the blood of Jesus destroys every curse of man. You are free, but you keep going back into prison yourself and locking the door, saying, I'm locked in. You got the key. Quit being like Otis and Andy Griffin and going into prison yourself. Remember old Otis? The town drunk in the Andy Griffin show? He come in every day drunk and open the key, or had his own key to the prison, and then knock and lock the door. That's how some Christians live. They're free, but they take the key and go back into prison. Jesus said to the devil, I am the resurrection and the life. I am he that was dead and alive evermore. I am the first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega. And now I've got the keys to hell and the keys to death. Oh, death, where is thy sting? Oh, grave, where is? Quit going back to the grave. So why do people live beneath their divine appointment? Why would you choose to be a dead dog when God says you're a roaring tribe of Judah? It is called learned helplessness. You ever go to a circus? Have you ever been to a circus? Or see one on TV? You ever notice they have these gigantic animals called pachyderms, mastodons, elephants? Elephants, my friends, are the strongest, biggest land animals on the earth. There is nothing stronger, more regal than an elephant. It's powerful. They showed their dexterity when Hannibal took them over the Alps to invade Rome. Elephants climbing up 10,000, 12,000, 20,000 foot icy mountains over and over again. It shows you their strength and their adaptability. But yet, when you go to a circus, you see these great creatures being controlled by a little man with a funny hat, with a folding chair, and a whip that when hits the elephant's body feels like a flea. And yet he says, stand up, Jumbo. Get on the ball and perform like a dumb animal, Jumbo. And the elephant only works for peanuts. The greatest, strongest, most regal, adaptable, and the most intelligent, by the way. They often say he has a memory like an elephant. The brain capacity is amazing. And yet, this regal creature can be easily controlled by a man that he can crush with one step. How does the man control